to you something. When we stop being able to stand up for our constituents and vote our conscience, and after study and thought, and we then are threatened, I said we have left the Republican Party, and it would be consistent with this notion of the coalition-style government that Mike Johnson has decided to form with the Democrats.
It's you can call it a coalition. It's a capitulation, as far as I can see. This fella is. I have to say, the president was supportive of him. Lots of people in the conference have been, and I see him as nothing more than a reckless and incompetent backstabber and traitor to the Republican Party. What else? I mean, what would the people in his district be saying about what this fool is doing?
I can't imagine. I mean, look, he's done everything. The first thing he did right, and that was an Israel aid bill that was paid for, and it was paid for from the IRS, where they were increasing the number of essentially police officers to go after Americans.
5 minutes.
So that was a good thing. But since then, it's been a disaster, one after another. He was the deciding vote to kill the warrant requirement for FISA, and that was my bill, and he can't justify that. I met with him with a few others just hours before that anti-Semitism bill, or the so-called anti-Semitism bill, came forward. We pointed out the problems with it, and quite frankly, scholars now looking at it agree with us. And he indicated he saw the same, and he was going to do something and pull the bill, but he didn't pull the bill. He went ahead with it. And this is the point I guess I got to make is it's been consistently fearful of that because we only have one vote. Well, you know why we only have one vote majority? That's because some of the Republicans got rid of George Santos. And so a lot of this is just self-inflicted wounds over and over again. And it comes, weak leadership results in bad actors being able to act badly.
Well, this is open. This is in the open now, Congressman, as you know. This is Mike Johnson unplugged and revealed. He might as well be walking around just in his shoes on Capitol Hill. There is no one who has any misunderstanding about who he is and what he is about. And the conference doesn't seem yet to have come to terms with it. You have, Congressman Massey has, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has, but my gosh, the Republican Party looks terrible in this because they don't have the guts to confront what is clearly in their face.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable to me that. But it's indicative of something else, Lou, and I think it's a bigger problem, and that is Mike may actually be reflective of the majority of the Republicans in Congress. Now think about that one. Latch on to that one, because if that's the case, then maybe we need to go back to Dante's Inferno, I believe it was, who said, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter herein," because what that means is that the auspices of turning this around grow bleaker and bleaker if he's really reflective of the majority of the conference, which I don't necessarily, I wish that weren't the case, but I got to believe perhaps it is.
It may be, but this is also a fight worth having because the Republican Party is in the House of Representatives. Frankly, you all have taken a majority. You've ruined it. By the way, Mike Johnson responsible for much of that, including getting rid of George Santos. This is a awful self-righteous and pious fella to be conniving and betraying his colleagues. So what are you going to do about it? I mean, why not have 6 people in his district right now making certain that he is challenged in the primary?
Well, in that particular district, Lou, I think he is probably safe and secure. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at his district.
Boy, I'd sure find out.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm busy trying to save my colleagues who are in the Freedom Caucus who are being attacked by Mike Johnson's acolytes. I mean, for
Right.
instance, Bob Good, who's the chairman of the Freedom Caucus, they are attacking him. 7 members have gone in, including committee chairman, to raise money for his opponent. They recruited his opponent. They are attacking him regularly.
Give me the
And
Tell me the name of the chairman that are doing that, real quick. I'd just love to know.
Mike Rogers of Alabama.
Oh,
Mike
come
Rogers
on.
of
That
Alabama,
guy is a rhino to the nth degree, and he's a sellout to
chairman
the
of the
military industrial complex, right?
right, but he's
You
there
don't
and
have
he's
to
able
affirm
to
that.
raise money. He's able to raise money and get it
Well,
spent
sure.
against it. Yeah, right. Because he's
He backs the truck up to Raytheon. Come
yeah.
on.
So
It's
the point is
outrageous.
that's what's going on, Lou.
It is
That's
what's going on. But so basically, do not abandon hope here. Go get in the
right.
fight, for crying out loud, in that 4th district in Louisiana. I mean, I'd sure test it out. I'll go down there with you. I mean, there's something wrong with this fella, and they ought to know about it.
Yeah, what we're seeing is something I never would have forecasted, having sat next to him on the judiciary for 7 years. But
Yeah.
never would have forecasted it. But Lou, another thing it tells me is how deep and powerful and grasping that the DC cartel is. This is
Yeah.
the swamp, whatever it is. They got hold of him pretty darn quick, and
Yep.
they won't
But
let go.
it's where you live, at least part time, and you're going to have to go after those snakes with a shovel. I mean, what? There's no pretending this isn't here anymore. There's no resignation to it. There is no way to coexist with it. We're watching this. We're watching the destruction of the Republican Party if it doesn't find leadership in a heck of a hurry. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think 2 things are happening. I think you're seeing the emasculation of the Republican Party, but that is leading because the Republican Party is the last hope for this country, but
Oh,
you're seeing also the disintegration of this once great nation. I mean, we've lost geographical integrity, so it means we've lost control of our border. We've lost currency integrity, which means that our currency is totally devalued. We're fortunate that we live in a world where other currencies are worse, but that we've got to turn that around.
We've got to turn it around in our next conversation. Let's take that up, because right now, abandon hope, as you put it, from Dante's Inferno. Let's raise hell. How about that? How about the Republicans start raising hell and get square up with their shoulders and on the balls of their feet and go get what is right? I am so sick and tired of watching an effete little cretin like Johnson take charge of the Republican Party and do what with it? Destroy it. Andy Biggs, thank you for everything you do. God bless you. And here we go. Thanks for being with us.
Here we go.
See how that works? Trump's life is turned upside down, and he can't so much as complain about it without being threatened with jail time. On the other hand, Democrats don't feel any obligation to comply with, well, anything. They think they're above the law, and for now, they just might be. Meanwhile, the peaceful pro-terrorist protesters who've taken over George Washington University have the school's president begging for help, for law enforcement to save her head and those heads of her board of trustees. She says her school needs to have beefed up security because those mostly peaceful pro-Hamas, anti-Israel protesters are now showing their true intent, calling for the beheadings of the president of George Washington University and her board of trustees. But who can guarantee that those protesters won't take the heads of other students as well? Some aggravating professors, perhaps. The George Washington University leaders are seemingly cultural Marxists. They fell in line with the cultural Marxist faculty and many of the students. They probably thought they were aligned with the pro-Hamas chaos agents as well. but they were wrong. Many of them now want your heads, and maybe all of them. I'm sure the school newspaper will call these peaceful beheadings if they do occur. And now the group called the Satanic Temple announcing it would like to place its so-called ministers in Oklahoma public schools. How would you feel about having open Satanists introduce your children to their perverse religion? Oklahoma Superintendent Ryan Walters summed up how most Americans feel, saying, quote, Satanists are not welcome in Oklahoma schools, but they are welcome to go to hell. I love that. Ryan Walters is also suing the Biden administration over changes to Title IX, codifying radical gender ideology. That makes the Oklahoma State Department of Education the first and only state education department, if you can believe this, the only one doing so right now. We're happy to say that Ryan is our guest this evening. And Ryan, delighted to have you with us. And I have to say, I admire your courage and your leadership. You are really taking on the powers that be here, and to this point, at least, succeeding. Give us a sense of what's going on in Oklahoma.
Yes, sir. You know, we have been fighting back against this Biden administration that has done the most radical overstep that we've seen in education. I mean, trying to come into states, demand that we allow boys into girls' sports, boys into girls' bathrooms with their override of Title IX. We were the first State Department to sue the Biden administration on Title IX. We have told them we're not going to comply with this radical woke ideology of the Biden administration, putting our young girls in danger. And again, I mean, if you don't have a better testament of why we need President Trump in the White House, look at this Biden administration and what they're pushing on the schools and our young people. We've got to get President Trump back in the White House. And states, until then, you have got to fight back against this federal government overreach.
Well, you're doing just that. And how much pushback are you getting from the Biden administration? The moron who is the Secretary of Education is nothing more than a left-wing activist who's succeeded in working for teachers unions throughout his career.
Look, that's right. You know, I mean, if your Secretary of Education can't tell the difference between a girl and a boy, I think we need a new Secretary of Education. I mean, it's absurd. And what we have seen is the Biden administration threatening our states to say, listen, we'll take federal funding from you. Number two, we'll put you in lawsuits if you misgender a child. So if a kid decides, you know, they wake up tomorrow and they're a new gender, if your teachers or school doesn't call them by that new gender, the Biden administration is going to come after you. I mean, think about the absurdity of this. We have got to get back to common sense in education.
And how are parents reacting to your defense of the of your students, first and foremost?
Oh, we have had tremendous feedback from parents. I mean, parents have been asking, hey, please don't let this happen to our kids. Don't let this happen to our schools. So we've seen parents all over the state applaud our actions. They have been very clear. They want us to stand firm against Joe Biden's radical agenda into our classrooms. And we're going to continue to do that. And I think, you know, Lou, it's that way here in Oklahoma. I think it's this way all over the country. As I talk to my colleagues in other states, folks are tired up with this radical Biden agenda on their kids.
And do you think that this is going to translate to votes? I mean, do you think people really understand the depth of the venality, the evil that is going on here?
You know, I think that's a great question. Look, I think President Trump is going to absolutely win this November because people are waking up more and more to this. You know what I mean? They saw how great the economy was under President Trump. They saw our schools getting back on track. They saw parents' rights and school choice being championed. They've heard President Trump talk about he's going to abolish the Department of Education when reelected. That's what parents want. That's what our communities want. They want education to be localized. That means getting rid of the Federal Department of Education, giving power back to the states, and states should do what we do here in Oklahoma, and that's give power back to families and parents. That's really the way education should work, and I'm hearing it every day. Folks are saying, look, we've got to get President Trump back in the White House. We can't allow the most radical left-wing agenda out of Karl Marx's wildest dreams to become reality in our schools because our president is one of the most radical people we've ever seen in the White House. So I think parents are waking up. I think communities are waking up. And I think you're going to see this huge surge of voters that are going to go vote for President Trump because of this radical agenda. And they know President Trump means what he says. They know he will get this country back on track.
Let me ask you a question, because we're looking at, I mean, for example, we took a look at the Chicago schools last week, and what we were witnessing there is sheer disaster. We're talking about only 14% of kids at reading proficiency at grade. 14%. I mean, more people believe in UFOs than that. We are really in so many places in this country in a real disaster. What is the state, the quality of education right now in Oklahoma, in your judgment?
Look, Oklahoma, we've had major problems because we've allowed the teachers unions, even in a red state, to have control. But in the last 2 years, when I was elected, we moved very quickly. We put school choice in play. So every family has school choice now. We threw out the teachers unions. We got them out of our schools. We threw out woke ideology. You know what, Lou? We went back to focusing on the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic, and we used the free market. We injected merit pay into our schools. And you know what? It works. You know, if you pay somebody more for a job well done, you get better performance from your teachers. So it's a real blueprint we have here in Oklahoma for all the states to follow. And I've heard President Trump talk repeatedly about bringing school choice nationally, and we've got to do that. So if you're in a blue state, if you're stuck in Chicago, Illinois, if we get school choice done across the country, we can make sure that all of those families have the ability to get out of a left-wing union-run school and into a private school or homeschooling or charter school where they can be successful.
You know, in Chicago, I was just going to point out, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but in Chicago, the state of Illinois has total tax receipts of $50 billion. The teachers' unions want $50 billion over the next 3 years for their pleasure. They want free abortions, of course. They want to also have their way with everything and shorter hours. And I mean, it's just crazy. These people we're talking about places in this country that are absolutely out of their minds. There's no way to explain them because of the ignorance, the stupidity of it all. And by the way, when I say stupidity, I'm talking about the school board in Chicago. I'm talking about the mayor's office. These people are absolutely out of their minds to think that they can run an education system that way. And we know, right? I don't know in Oklahoma, tell me, are you losing students? Because we're across the country, we're seeing fewer and fewer students in most schools.
You know, we have, you know, we've seen more students that are, you know, utilizing private school options, homeschooling options. And again, we're very proud of that here in Oklahoma. We want students, families to choose the school that best suits them. And if that's a different choice option, we want them to have that. But one of the things we've seen is as we've improved our public schools, guess what? We have some public schools that are really growing as well, because once you start to increase performance and parents see that you're not going to push a woke agenda on their kids, but you're going to push math and reading, science and history, they want to come back.
And to be honest with you, I don't think that we win the battle for education, public education, until we get rid of the teachers' unions, because they spend 40% of their money on politics, the rest on indoctrination, it seems to me, too often. Ryan Walters, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it so much and wish you all the very best. Come back soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Turning now to stories making headlines just in time for the elections, 2 new COVID-19 variants, collectively known as, and you're not going to believe this, these idiots in public health, FLIRT, F-L-I-R-T. They couldn't do better than that. They've been detected and are reportedly spreading across the United States. Meanwhile, a miracle moment at a church in Pennsylvania. Reverend Glenn Germany was giving a sermon at Jesus Dwelling Place Church this past Sunday when a man walked in with a gun, pointed it at him, pulled the trigger with dead aim, and it misfired. Watch.
We're in a whole different kingdom than God. And God had chose.
Jesus! Jesus!
Well, it turns out miracles do happen, and fortunately for the minister, that doesn't happen very often. A straight up misfire at point blank range. He's going to be praying a lot more, I believe. Even the minister is going to be praying more, and he should. Let's turn to My Pillow now. And as you know, Mike Lindell built My Pillow into a great company because he has a passion to help you get the best sleep of your life. And when I tell you my wife and I sleep better than we ever have, I mean it. We love our My Pillow pillows and Giza sheets. And the My Pillow Giza sheets are, in our opinion, absolutely the best sheets we've ever slept on. The quality is simply amazing, and our sleep is restful. And after Mike invented the world's best pillow, he created these famous Giza Dream sheets. And they are the best sheets you will ever sleep on. The best night's sleep just got even better, thanks to Mike. And for a limited time, you'll get a queen size set for only $59.98. $59.98 for queen size, and king size costs just $10 more. That's the lowest price in history. Mike and My Pillow employees continue to be canceled by big box stores, as you know. They are attacked relentlessly by the media. They appreciate all of your great support during these times, and we want to say thank you by giving you free shipping on your entire order today. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-977-9152 and use promo code Dobbs. You get the famous Giza Dream Sheets, queen size for only $59.98, king size just $10 more. So call 800-977-9152 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code Dobbs to get free shipping on the entire order today. And please join us each and every day for my podcast, The Great America Show. Israel is fighting for its very survival right now. In part, that's because of Joe Biden. What is Joe Biden up to? He's deciding whether Israel has violated U.S. or international law in Gaza. And why would that be of interest to him? He has enough on his plate, don't you think? That conclusion, by the way, could come as early as this week. And it's an absolute wonder that we have any allies in the world at all. I'm talking about real allies, and that would call for some really fine sorting when we turn to, for example, Europe and particularly Asia. Meanwhile, Russia has confirmed that it has arrested a U.S. soldier on charges of theft. The soldier is Staff Sergeant Gordon Black, stationed in South Korea. His service there was up. He took a 2-week leave and then a trip to Russia on his own. And Russian authorities claim that he stole from a woman he may have been visiting. It's a little murky. It looks like a setup. And this is a developing story that we will return to. Well, turning now to illegal aliens committing crimes all across America, and there is a rising crime rate as a result. An illegal alien from Guatemala is accused now of kidnapping and sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl in Florida. U.S. Border Patrol picked up Marvin Perez Lopez as he crossed into the United States from Mexico, but they released him with a notice to appear in court. Are you ready for this? They released him and gave him a little note saying, show up in court in 2027. Are you kidding? Can these people do anything with a straight face now? This Biden border policy is insulting, it's injurious to our sovereignty, and it's a disaster for the American people. And the Biden regime favors the Lopez and other predators who prey on children. They make no secret of it. How many more of these savages will Biden invite into the United States? How many more lives will they ruin? And all of them will be on Biden's head, but that head is probably unaware of the burden. Joining us now is former Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent Victor Avila. Thanks for being with us, Victor, and we appreciate it so much. Doesn't it make your blood boil every time we do it almost nightly, talk about the illegal aliens and the crimes they're committing against children, against women? They're vicious, and as President Trump put it, Venezuela isn't sending us their very best. Your thoughts?
Well, it irates me, that's for sure. And you're absolutely right. It's on a daily basis. I go around the country, Lou, speaking to a lot of police groups and different groups. And I have a section of my presentation where I talk about this particular crimes committed by illegal aliens, not only against U.S. citizens, by the way, but against their own illegal alien community, because that's where they live. And so they're victimizing everyone. And by the way, speaking of Venezuela, I had a contact over there call me the other day and said that Venezuela now not only has the lowest homicide rate ever in history, but the safest. They're loving it right now. Venezuela, they actually can walk around because El Tren de Aragua, the big cartel gang over there, is basically gone. The prisons have been emptied. The rehabilitations have been emptied. And guess where they came? Here. They showed up here, and they're wreaking havoc in New York and Florida and Texas and North Carolina, everywhere. And their country is safe, but not ours isn't. This is the insanity of this administration, by the Biden administration, where they're deliberately destroying and violently sometimes with these cases, one case at a time, of our communities.
So what is the Border Patrol doing now? I mean, we know that the Biden administration hates the Border Patrol. They hate immigration customs enforcement. They hate anyone that would even think of securing that border. And because they're in business with, let's be very straightforward about this. One way or the other, the Biden regime is in business with the Mexican drug cartels for their sex trafficking, for their smuggling of deadly drugs, the deaths of 100,000 Americans on their head. I think the number is somewhere probably twice that in actuality. We're looking at a vicious, deadly organization when we talk about the Mexican drug cartels. And by the way, they compete, but as you well know, they're also aligned against us. And that is the issue. So how in the world does the Border Patrol function? How do guys go to work every day, men and women of the Border Patrol? Because they have, I mean, Biden is crushing them in his hand, isn't he?
It certainly is, Lou. And let me tell you, I went last month to an event, and we're going at the end of this month to Arizona with Armed Brewing Services Company, Morale Boosters Organization, Border 911. We're going to go out there and actually just give back to them, because exactly what you're saying is 100% true. There is no morale. They've been demoralized. We have a record number of suicides. We have a record number of them quitting. And the ones that are sticking around, God help them, because it is very difficult. The job is hard enough as it is. And now you have this employer ordering you to do things that you know are illegal, by like issuing out these paroles and letting people in the country that you know. The example you started off with is, do you know this individual required possibly additional vetting and phone calls and intel gathering, but they don't have the chance to do that. They don't have the ability to do their jobs because the Biden administration has ordered them, has told them, now let them in. And I get a little pushback sometimes when people say, well, why doesn't the Border Patrol just not do it? Well, listen, it's not as easy as that, Lou. They got to feed their families. They need that insurance and pension. And it's a very difficult situation. So I'm also helping on that morale booster side. Let's give them, we'll be out there May 31st in the border in Arizona, feeding them and, boosting the morale to say, listen, we're with you and we stand with you.
Yeah, we're with you. And this is another one of the intractable disasters that Joe Biden and the Marxist Dems of this regime have created. They are Marxists. They are running the federal government like as a totalitarian organization. This is no longer an American government. This is a Biden Marxist Dem effort to fundamentally transform America, and it's happening before our eyes. And as I said, and I know you agree with me, Victor, there's only one man who can lead the country right now, and he's our Churchill. That's Donald Trump. And right now, he has the heels of George Soros prosecutors in his neck, trying to stop him, and they're not succeeding. And it looks like that we're going to see with this mistrial perhaps the beginning of some advancement of justice. You get the last word here, Victor.
I just want people to understand that this is a global issue. It became a global issue a while back, and it's no longer just Mexico and Central America. It is China, it is Eastern Europe, it is Africa, it is India, it is the rest of the world that we need to look at. This issue is a global issue. It's a national security issue. It's a public safety issue for America. Let's put the word out. Thank you for putting the word out, Lou, because the more we put it out, the more the people can wake up and understand just a little bit about what's going on before they get affected in their family or loved one.
You know, the expression has grown up that every state is a border state now. Every American right now is either in the fight or they're going to get run over, in my opinion. Every American had better be a fighter, because this is for the entire, for everything, the entire nation, the American people, and the American way. Victor Avila, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou.
Well, it doesn't get more American than a big old pickup truck, does it? Well, a new line of hydrogen-powered Ram trucks will be manufactured in Mexico. And they're there because of the cheap labor, not the hydrogen, I assure you. And meanwhile, General Motors suffered a $100 million loss during the first quarter in China. The Middle Kingdom was GM's top sales market from 2010 to 23, but geopolitical tensions and decoupling and some other adjustments, China appears now to be digging into GM's bottom line, as it appears the two countries, China and the U.S., are about to do a little decoupling and further decoupling. MIT appears to be awakening from the stupor of diversity, equity, inclusion, critical race theory. It just became the first elite university, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, to drop a diversity statement as a requirement for application. In the past, MIT faculty applicants had to demonstrate their woke bona fides with a statement about their commitment to diversity. If it sounds a little like the woke version of the Nicene Creed, that's because it is. DEI is a secular religion with its own angels and demons, heaven and hell. These statements are intended to ensure ideological conformity and nothing else, to ensure applicants are really part of the Marxist dim faith, if you will. But MIT says that's over. Now, MIT says we should hope other universities follow our lead. Harvard, for example, could take a hint there, but they haven't even figured out whether they're for or against plagiarism, whether they're for or against bigotry, because Claudine Gay still is working there, and it's very unclear about who will be the next president. Gay was a serial plagiarist, in case you forgot. She had no business leading Harvard to begin with. But she checked all the right DEI boxes and said all the right things, and Harvard did a really lousy job of vetting her, let's be honest. She proved she was a member, though, of the ideological congregation, and that, and not merit, is what really matters under the dogma of diversity and the woke culture. Well, joining us tonight is one of the serious scholars that Gay plagiarized. Her name is Carol Swain. Professor Swain is a former political science professor at Vanderbilt University, senior fellow at the Institute for Faith and Culture. And in January, Carol's attorneys sent Harvard a letter demanding remedy for Gay's use of her work. And Dr. Carol Swain, great to have you with us, Professor. And I have to say, as we're watching these institutions, MIT just announcing it's dropping its diversity demands on the faculty. They're going to start talking about merit instead of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This looks like a positive step forward, but man, do we have a long ways to go in this country to get back to merit, don't you think?
Well, I think corporations, not that I think, I know that corporations are moving away from DEI programs because they know that it doesn't work. And I believe that with MIT stepping forward as an academic institution, others will follow suit. they tend to copy each other. And most university presidents actually know it doesn't work. They like to virtue signal. They are afraid of the loudest voices,
Mhm.
and the loudest voices want DEI, but most other people don't because it's behind all the conflict that we see on college and university campuses.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that it's taken this long for people to understand that the statement "diversity is our strength" is pure nonsense. Our strength is our meritocracy, the fact that people can achieve. And by the way, our public school system once was the greatest equalizer in our society. If you had the brains and you had the gumption and the perseverance, you were going to prevail against any force
Mhm.
because the public education rewarded effort and talent, right?
Well, Lou, I would argue too that in the 1960s, we got it right when we passed three major civil rights bills. We had legislation that made us all equal under the law. That created
Mhm.
equal opportunity, non discrimination. There were recruitment efforts for groups that had been shut out. And people like me benefited from the non discrimination, the outreach. We were able to achieve the American
Sure.
dream. That still works. We've gotten away from that. We need to return to the basics.
Yeah, I return to the basics. We're dealing with people who now want to divide the races. They don't want to divide by ethnicity. I mean, the ignorance that is just sweeping this country over the last 30 years is just breathtaking. And to see this conflict now between meritocracy and DEI, for example, your loss. I presume that you're going to go ahead with that lawsuit against Harvard. uh, we have a situation where Claudine Gay, the former president who plagiarized you, where she is still employed at Harvard, but not only is she employed at Harvard, as I understand it, the law school, she is teaching, if you can believe this, ethics in research and writing, for crying out loud.
Well, the thing about it is that Claudine Gay is a serial plagiarizer. She
Mhm.
plagiarized, there's almost 50 instances. I am about, I am one of about 20 people, I believe, that were plagiarized, but her dissertation plagiarized my prize winning book. Her early research was built
Yeah.
around my ideas. And so that's why I'm pursuing it because her whole career, three-quarters of her articles are plagiarized.
Well, do you sue her or do you sue Harvard? Because she was representing Harvard in all of this. I just wonder what the law is. Where
I
does that
have
come down?
a I have a team that I have confidence in Nashville, and it would be a copyright infringement intellectual property case. We have been in
Hmm.
contact with Harvard, and their response has been that the ideas she stole from me were minimal. And that is ludicrous because there would not have been a dissertation on that topic had it not been for my prize winning book, Black Faces, Black Interests. And there are five instances of her borrowing or stealing from Black Faces, Black Interests, but her whole dissertation was framed to counter my thesis because part of what I argued was that political party was more important than the race of the representative, that whites could represent blacks and blacks could represent whites, and your best representative might be someone outside of your group. Her work was about trying to prove that black people had to have black representatives. And so when she sets up her dissertation, she is framing it around a conclusion from Black Faces, Black Interests. And so it will have to be fought out because it's not just
Yeah.
the sentences that she stole, it's a whole idea. There would not have been a Claudine Gay dissertation on that topic had it not been for my prize winning book that was considered a seminal work in the area of
Right.
representation.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up here, Carol, I want to ask you, why is there, in your judgment, this relationship between the DEI community, if you will, CRT, critical race theory, this group within, for example, Harvard University had a DEI officer, by the way, who
Right.
also plagiarized, as you well know, as well as
Yes.
the Professor Gay, President Gay at the time. stealing from you. I mean, what is that relationship between DEI and the culture that around it, and this anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, anti-American impulse that seems to run all the way through it in our campus culture, at least in this country?
Well, first of all, we know it's a rejection of the civil rights goals of the 1960s. It's deeply rooted in Marxism, which is rooted in conflict theory. And what they do is they play groups off against one another. And with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's heterosexuals pitted against homosexuals, men pitted against women, rich people pitted against poor people, blacks pitted against whites. And they have used racial and ethnic minorities like Claudine Gay, put them in positions to help carry out their agendas. And progressives, white progressives, are really behind all of this. They're pulling the strings and they're using racial and ethnic minorities. And with Claudine Gay and some of the other people at Harvard, several of them black, who have been caught plagiarizing, part of me sees them as a victim of a system that wanted a quota, but they wanted people they could control. Me, I'm not so easy to control, Lou.
I've noticed that
So
over
I'm
the
not in
years.
academia. I'm not in academia any longer, but they want people
Well,
who they can control that will help advance a
yeah.
Marxist agenda. And it's all about identity politics. It's about tearing down traditional structures. It's about fomenting conflict. And my desire to pursue this lawsuit, I'm raising money to pursue the lawsuit through Give, Send, Go. And they have a charitable arm to it where money can be donated for this Harvard cause. It's about academic integrity, and it's about holding Harvard University accountable because they're so big. They have, billions of dollars. They don't care about small fish like me, but yet Claudine Gay absolutely chose the wrong woman to steal from, because I will fight it, because I know that what they've done is wrong and someone has to stand up, and it's going to be me.
Well, and I will tell you, folks, Professor Swain is one of those independent, a terrific mind and a terrific streak of independence. She is, as they say, her own woman. And I think Harvard is sadly for them underestimating her badly if they think they can just sort of give her the back of their hand on what is an obvious case of plagiarism and as well as bigotry on the part of Claudine Gay in failing to support any suggestion that genocide is not the way to go in America. I mean, the ignorance of it is just breathtaking. As we conclude, I just do want to ask you this. Do you see in the immediate future a turn to meritocracy, a turn to rationality and meritocracy in our nation's colleges and universities as we
Yes, I
wrap it
do.
up here?
Yes, I do, because the left has pushed it so far. It's so absurd that many parents and students are deciding that a college education isn't worth it. You cannot have institutions without
Mhm.
students, without parents, without donors. And so MIT's decision and other schools that are reinstating testing, it's part of their survival mode. And I have been told that colleges and universities, that they're getting information that they need to be neutral, that college presidents should be neutral on issues. They shouldn't take sides. So I believe that their
Yeah.
survival would depend on them moving back towards a meritocracy. And I guarantee you, Lou, they will not be lily white institutions if they return to an era of standards.
Yeah, I personally, I think most of these presidents are going to have to be fired to get away from DEI and their deep-seated ideological fervor. Uh, Dr. Carol Swain, thanks so much for being with us. It's always good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's turn now to one of my favorite subjects, which is My Pillow. As you know, Mike Lindell built My Pillow into a great company because he has a passion to help you get the best sleep of your life. And when I tell you, my wife and I sleep better than we ever have, I mean it. We love our MyPillow pillows and our MyPillow Giza sheets. And the MyPillow Giza sheets are absolutely the best sheets we've ever slept on. The quality is simply amazing and our sleep restful night after night after night. And after Mike invented the world's best pillow, he created those famous Giza Dream sheets. And they are, I tell you, I promise you, the best sheets you will ever sleep on. The best night's sleep just got even better. For a limited time, you not only get those sheets, you get a bargain. You will get a queen size set of Giza sheets for $59.98. That is incredible. King size, just $10 more, the lowest prices in history. Mike and MyPillow employees continue to be canceled by those big box stores, and they're attacked relentlessly by the media. They appreciate all of your great support over these times and want to thank you by giving you free shipping on your entire order today. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-977-9152 and use promo code Dobbs. You get the famous Giza Dream sheets, queen size for $59.98, king size just $10 more. So call 800-977-9152 or go to mypillow.com, promo code Dobbs to get the free shipping on your entire order today. You'll be glad you did. And join us each and every day for my podcast, The Great America Show. And we thank you for being with us. Join us here tomorrow evening. Thank you for being with us tonight. Mike Lindell. Well, let me try to get that. I mean, I can't believe I butchered that up.
That's all right. Just pick her up.
I'm at the end of this rope. And thank you for being with us tonight. Join us tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And coming up next, the Mike Lindell Report. Mike with a fantastic show in store. Good night. God bless you. And may God bless America.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. My employees and I want to thank you for MyPillow 2.0's huge success. And now we're manufacturing our multi-use MyPillows with the same temperature regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 multi-use MyPillows, regularly $199.92, now only $69.98. King size $10 more, so please order now.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. My employees and I want to thank you for MyPillow 2.0's huge success. And now we're manufacturing our multi-use MyPillows with the same temperature regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 multi-use MyPillows, regularly $199.92, now only $69.98. King size $10 more, so please order now. Mike Lindell here, And like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest. So call Genesis Gold Group now at 1-800-200-GOLD. That's 1-800-200-4653, or go to LindellGoldRush.com now. Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Coffee. I get products all the time from entrepreneurs for my new platform, mystore.com. And when I tried My Coffee for the first time, I was blown away. It is the best coffee I've ever had in my life. I spent the last 4 months doing my due diligence, and this family-owned business micromanages every step from the fields to the cup to ensure the best quality coffee you're ever gonna have. It starts with the beans that are grown in Honduras. Honduras's volcanic soil and humid climate make the perfect growing conditions for coffee plants, which produce the best beans ever. Then each batch is tested for its aroma, taste, and other aspects to meet the highest standards in the coffee industry. And after that, it goes into production, which is all done right here in the USA. It's like you're getting that small batch specialty coffee, but delivered right to your front door. So go to mystore.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code and you'll get your very own My Coffee for 25% off. You guys all know that I've traveled the country for the past year and a half. I've stayed in hundreds of hotels. I've tried every coffee out there. Well, some of the coffees have that terrible aftertaste, some that leave me jittery, or I get an upset stomach. Well, My Coffee is different. It's the richest, smoothest, best coffee I've ever had. My Coffee comes in a variety of flavors. You get them ground or whole bean, plus it's certified organic and non-GMO. I guarantee it'll be the best coffee you've ever had. So go to mystore.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you'll get My Coffee for 25% off. And I'm going to give you deep discounts on all my store products. That's mystore.com. It's my new platform for USA entrepreneurs. Please order now.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took My Pillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented My Pillow to bring you the best pillow in history, My Pillow 2.0. My employees and I want to thank you for My Pillow 2.0's huge success. And now we're manufacturing our multi-use My Pillows with the same temperature regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of My Pillow. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our My Pillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 My Pillows and 2 multi-use My Pillows, regularly $199.92, now only $69.98. King size $10 more, so please order now. 8 years ago, we developed and launched the best bed sheets ever. Since then, you've all enjoyed the best sleep of your life. And to thank you all for your support, we're bringing you our bed sheets.